The American Iron and Metal facility on Port Authority property over west has been operational for a month, but complaints began rolling in over the holiday weekend while a ship was being loaded with the scrap metal. Port President Jim Quinn says he will be contacting local company reps.
What we've found is we've been following the social media is where I understand that things really start to raise the level of interest of people and their concerns with noise. I understand that last Saturday was really the beginnings where we had a beautiful day, much like today, and of course it's very, very quiet. So any noise that would be around or any sounds that would be around are amplified in those kinds of situations. I'm not minimizing. I mean, people heard what they heard, and so what I've done is. I've talked to the company and suggested to them that I'd be talking to their local representatives here and asking them if, because this is a new process. They just commissioned the thing about a month ago. That was the first ship that's been in, and it's the largest ship we've had in here. They took away the volume of the entire last year. They were doing 50,000 tons a year. Now they're doing 250,000 tons a year. So that ship took over 50,000 tons of material away, and so that means that every year we'll have 5 ships in, and instead of being in for 3 or 4 days like in the past, these ships will be in for 10 to 14 days because of the sheer size of the ships and the volume of materials they're dealing with. So I'll be talking to them to see if there's things that they can think of in terms of their processes and their operational procedures that could mitigate the concerns that we've become aware of, and give them that opportunity to see if there are things that can be done.
As you say, they've been operating about a month now, and this whole noise issue seemed to surface when the ship was in, so there must be some kind of connection with how they're loading it.
Yeah, and in fact, the ship was in for about a week before as I understand, before we really started to hear the social media report concerns of people, and that then came into phone calls to local elected representatives, and of course they plug into us. And it's really important that people do that so we understand the concerns that people have, so we can then kind of see what is it that we can influence, or what is it that we can draw to the attention of operators, no matter the business, so that they can then maybe think about their procedures and processes to see if there's things that they can do to mitigate the concerns that people have raised.
So any way you look at it, you're concerned about what's happening over there and trying to work on behalf of the people.
Well, yeah, we want to make sure that that if there's some thinking out of the box thinking that can occur to help mitigate those concerns, that we ought to do that. At the same time, as I say, the port. I mean, I can personalize this. I grew up here, just down the street here on Broad Street, and and my family for generations has been involved in the port. And growing up down here, back when, it's getting too many years ago, but 45 years ago and 40 years ago, the noise of the port, which was a very, very busy port in those days, sort of blended into the background. It was part of the environment. It was part of how you grew up. And but then the port's business greatly, greatly diminished over the last 25 years, to the point where we didn't have large ships coming into the port other than the cruise ships, which aren't handling like traditional cargoes, and we had smaller vessels and things of that nature. And we want to get this port back to work, and we've been working very, very hard to increase the business at the port, and that focus is really so that the producers and manufacturers in New Brunswick can have the opportunity to increase their productivity and their outputs, which would hopefully back into their needing to hire additional people. And from that sense, we see the port as a piece of these, as a contributor to, helping to improve the economic conditions here, not only in St. John but in the province, and to be a contributor to prosperity.